Everyone. Welcome to Keeping It Real with Everyday People. We are here today with Jean, all the way from the land down under Australia. And we are so excited to interview you, Jean. You have an incredible story, and we're just glad you get an opportunity to share it with our audience. So with further ado, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Thank you. Yes. Okay. Yeah, good story. So my name is Jean. I'm in Australia, down under, so I should be upside down, but I'm not. I'm staying here. But I was actually born in London, in the UK, in England. My heritage, my father's from Jamaica and my mother's from England. I was born in 1955, so I'm only 68 years of age.
Oh my God. Incredible.
You look incredible.
Incredible.
I've got 6 children and 10 grandchildren, and everything's happening. So I have quite a story. So I've been quite fortunate, I think. I'm very blessed in life. I've never had any serious sickness or illnesses. So I became a vegan at 17 years of age, which is around about 51 years ago.
Oh my God.
But I'll tell you, I haven't been exclusively vegan throughout that time, but mostly. Okay. And I'll explain that a little bit. And I did it for performance. I didn't do it for, what do you call it? For vibration, like for animal cruelty or anything like that. I didn't do it for that. I was a 17-year-old, egotistical, self-centered 17-year-old teenager. I was just into myself and my looks and how I was and how I performed. So I was an athlete. I was a sprinter, as a lot of Jamaican people are. Used to involve the flag. And I was a soccer man, football. We play round ball. Soccer, yeah? And I changed my nutrition at 17 years of age because I wanted two things. One, I wanted to improve my performance as an athlete. Which mostly goes against the grain because we need lots of meat to be strong and the rest. But I do it that way. Other thing is, I'm very self-centered. Looks is very important to me. I want to stay full and young forever. Peter Pan. And I used to be at high school when I was 15, 16, 17-year-old, and I don't know why, but I used to look at people in London on the underground. You call it the subway there. Just like in New York, there was a subway, and in Russia. So when I finished school, because I went to school in London, a very busy city, just like some of the cities in USA. And I used to just just to finish school, and I used to go and sit on the wall of the subway, of the underground. I just used to look at people. And at 17 years of age, I made a promise to myself, I'll never, ever want to look like that when I'm 50 years of age or 60 years of age. People looking, coughing, spluttering, sick, grey, blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to look like that. And I kind of changed my diet instantly, not because I was sick, which is quite unusual because a lot of people who turn into being a vegan or vegetarian usually have a sickness, which is unfair when people, a lot of people, sort of have one foot in the grave. So they're not real healthy, and they change to be a vegan. And then other people are vegetarian, and they make judgment and say, oh, you look terrible. Oh, you look so sick. But they don't realize it's the last port of call. They've tried everything else, and they then become a vegan. And so, of course, you can't undo years of habits or whatever just instantly. It takes a long time.
Right.
I know I'm blessed. I know I'm blessed with good genetics. If that is, some people say that has something to do with it, some people don't. But I know I have been. I don't have sickness. I don't have illness. I don't have anything. Nothing. Zero.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
And the other advantage that I have over everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people, is I started at a real young age when I was at the prime of my life. The testosterone, the hormones, what you want to call it, everything was I was at the peak of my life. A 17-year-old and a 17 and 18-year-old male is at a prime in so many different ways. So I had a big advantage, as well as having the blessing of good genetics. So I changed. I didn't have any problems. So I transitioned into being and I ate just a normal British diet, meat, vegetables, processed potatoes, pies, cakes, biscuits. I had all that sort of stuff. And something just told me, I don't know, it was just an instinct or a message, or I don't know. Something just told me it wasn't right for me. Something just told me that. I never spoke to anybody. I just did it myself, just cold. And I basically went cold. It was instant. I was 17 and a half years of age. It was in December 1972. I just changed. I was eating rubbish. Well, not. I've always been fairly health conscious. I did eat, but I still ate a traditional diet: meat, vegetables, bread, blah blah blah. And then I just changed. I went cold turkey. There today, gone tomorrow.
Wow.
And
Gene, how did you do that in 1972 when people
was
were talking about being vegan?
You know, I was told I wouldn't survive. I was told I would die. I would get skinny. My muscles would rot away. My teeth would fall out.
Right.
Blah blah. You know, I've told all that, but I don't know. Something in my intuition. I don't know why it is. Something just told me that it was the right thing to do. It's my intuition, my instinct.
Oh.
And
That is amazing. It's amazing.
I don't know why I did it. I didn't know anything about it. In fact, I gave all up that meat, and I gave up all animal products, everything.
Wow.
Including money, everything. I gave everything up. And I didn't even know it was called a vegan. I didn't even call myself, I didn't know what, I never heard of it. At that stage, I just called myself a vegetarian.
Right. Did it help your performance? You were an athlete. Did it help your performance?
That's a magnificent question there, Terry, because when I changed my diet, my whole mindset, my whole spirit changes. And I actually went off of competitive sport. I went off it. I didn't want to compete anymore competitive. I became more calm.
Wow.
You know?
Okay.
And so
okay.
it was a funny thing. I was lined up to be a professional sports person. I was playing professional standard. You know, I was playing at, I don't know if you heard it in football, the World Stadium of England in football, or the world, is Wembley Stadium.
Yes.
You know, it's in USA for your football.
Yes.
Well, all international games were played at Wembley. Wembley Stadium is a massive ground, and I've played there as well in football, soccer. You know, for English school, I played for English schoolboys. You know, I was a high. I actually could have become a professional sports person. I was on standby for a British relay team to go to Olympics, and a whole heap of stuff like that.
I'm a track and field guy. Which relay? 4x4 or 4x1?
I was 100 meter.
A 4x4. I mean, 4x1.
Yeah. You know, these Jamaicans, they can't run more than 200 meters. We get
oh, come on.
Fast. Just fast. You know, that's all it is. But and I was also, and another sport you don't play a lot of in USA so much, but having a background from West Indies, cricket. And I was a very fast bowler, and the world stage for cricket was Lord's Cricket Ground. That's the big Lord's Cricket Ground. I played as well. So I played a lot of high standard sport, but once I changed my diet, it changed my life. But I would argue that it's for the better. So a lot of people say to me, "Oh, don't you regret that? Don't you?" And I don't have any regrets whatsoever. I'm glad. It took me on a different journey. And then once I changed my nutrition, I thought, well, I can't stay in England. It's cold and miserable and grey and rainy. I've got to go to a tropical climate.
Right.
But I chose Australia rather than Jamaica or West Indies because at that time, Australia was part, well, it's very British. It's very British, you know, it's a kind of a white Anglo-Saxon country, Australia. And I was brought up in that, you know, I was kind of, that's what I'm used to. It's English speaking. It's like going to a suburb of England to go to Australia. And Australia's a big island. It's as big as USA, but as an island. So there's lots of different, it's a lot, it's very big. And there's a lot of different climatic zones. We've got cold areas, temperate. We've got subtropical, tropical, and we've got equatorial, all in Australia, because it's right through the latitude, you know. So since 1984, which is nearly 40 years, I think, I've lived in tropical. I live in tropical Australia. So it's just like the West Indies. It might be just like Miami. It might be just like Hawaii. You know, we grow anything.
That's beautiful.
Or that's why I put that video up this morning, eating my little pawpaws. You know, having a bit of a muck around. So basically that's kind of it. So it's been a journey. So, and also in between that time, I took up bodybuilding in the gym. weights. I pushed weights. And I did compete in some bodybuilding comps. I don't know if you've seen any of my pictures on Facebook page.
I have.
I was quite shredded. And people would say, oh, you take steroid. I've never taken any drugs, no steroid. No. So when I was bodybuilding, I went off of becoming a vegan. I became, or because I'm a vegetarian, but the only thing I took was raw goat's milk. Goat's milk. Raw. Unpasteurized.
Okay.
I used to take that as an extra supplement to my bodybuilding. I was really pushing out heavy weights.
How did you feel when you did that?
I felt really good too. Really good too.
Okay.
And then in the last few years, I've gone back to vegan again.
Okay.
In fact, I tell a lot. Actually, I have actually just in the last month, I've actually started to eat honey again. Only because I was selling a house, and a guy he does his own beehive, and he gave us a gift of a big jar of honey. So I've been taking a teaspoon now. It doesn't matter. I get fast. But having said that, my wife doesn't take it. She won't touch it. She's like, So it's an interesting thing about vegan, because vegan to me, I'm learning it's kind of like a way of, it's an attitude, it's a way of life. It's not just the nutrition.
That's right.
Because you always get this thing about people saying, what do you do about B12? What do you do about protein?
Yeah.
I get that question answered all the time.
Mm-hmm.
For me personally, I've never worried about vitamins and protein and carbohydrates and calories and B12 and B whatever ever. I've never been into the science. I just do it for my intuition. But what I found is, and someone put something up on a Facebook page the other day, we talked about, there's always a big argument on the Facebook pages about B12. I'm in all the joy. I join all the groups. There's fruitarian groups, there's vegan groups, there's raw vegan, there's this and that, whatever. And I join in. And I think I join in because I think like I call myself like the elder now. There's a lot of young people, and they want to hear someone who's an example who's been on it a long time. There's a lot of people vegans or vegetarians, but they've only been on it for a little time. They've just tried out, a few months or a few years. But I'm going on, like 5 decades.
Yeah, that's
incredible.
Alive. So people look up there, and they feel very privileged and honored, and I feel honored too, to share that knowledge. And that's why I said to my wife this morning, I'm happy to go on and talk, because I think I want to be an inspiration to people. Sure. I don't preach to anybody. You should eat this. You find your own journey. I've got a lot of really close, heartfelt friends who are meat eaters. I've got friends who drink alcohol. I've got friends who even drink, well, they're not so much cigarettes because I don't go near them, but you understand what I'm saying? But I don't judge people. And it's just a life. But I find like the interesting thing about the vegan thing in particular is, if you just want to look at nutrition, can you really truly be a vegan nutrition wise? Because even microorganisms, we breathe them in. They're in the fruit, they're in the water.
That's right.
So someone said the other day, and it's a good point on the post on B12. He said years ago we were roaming around and we were drinking water from the stream, which is muddy and has microorganisms in it. Yeah. So every time we go for a walk, and we got a creek at the back of our property, we got a creek. I often go down there and I drink the water. I don't filter it. I don't analyze it. I don't put it in a laboratory. I just do it impulsively. I always drink it. I don't know. There's mostly insects and I don't know what's in there. So I can't really say that I'm animal free, if you want to call it that. But I know the whole thing about vegan is actually the cruelty, the cruelty, the diet.
Yeah.
And the guy said, well, most probably a lot of people who are vegans, they're not necessarily healthy. They eat a lot of processed plastic, processed food. You can go to the supermarket now, in USA, I'm sure, like we can in Australia, and you can get food in a packet. Anything.
A lot of processed food that's vegan. And it's not healthy
meat,
right?
look alike meat, look alike cheese, look alike milk, look alike everything, biscuits, cake, anything you want, you can get it. So there's a difference to eating that food. We're outside here in the land, and we're getting dirty. I'm picking stuff straight off the tree. I'm not washing it sometimes, just eating it. There's mostly, who's to say we don't have little that pawpaw I was eating this morning, who's to say there's little microorganisms in there? I don't worry about those sorts of things, and I drink water. And also when we go to the ocean, we're around about 40 minutes drive from the ocean, and we swim in and have a dip there. I've always done it my whole life. I always like to take a mouthful of ocean water and I swallow it. I've done that for the last 50 years. So, and I reckon that a lot of that stuff we worry about when you want to get scientific about, like B12, it's all in those things that we miss out. I think we live too much of a sanitized lifestyle. It's not, as modern people, especially westernized people, we're too well worried about cleanliness. Everything's got to be clean, clean, clean. I think sometimes it can be too clean. It's good to have a little bit of, you heard that story, it's good for the kids now to go out and play in the mud. They don't want that nowadays. When we were kids, especially when I was a kid, maybe, you get muddy and dirty and, you take risks. Like life is not risk-free. There's always risks, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And so we've got to do that, So I thought about that and I joined that debate on the Fruitarian website the other day about B12. I said, that's similar. I've never had any problem because people say if you don't have B12, you get certain things happen to you. But I've never taken any.
Yeah.
I've never taken any supplements for B12.
I was going to ask you that. Do you supplement?
Well, we do like natural stuff. Like what we do is, it's funny you should ask that question. I've always we take a protein powder every day, protein powder, but it's made of pea protein.
Yeah.
And I mix it with coconut water, rice milk, coconut cream, and I put banana in it. I put some nuts in it, seeds like pumpkin, sesame, and sunflower seeds.
Wow, that sounds like dessert.
Yeah, it sounds delicious.
Banana in it one day, I might put pawpaw in another day. Mango seeds, I put mango in. Sometimes we get frozen fruit and put it in. But we just have a big I have a big protein shake in the morning. My wife has even a bigger one. She's like, wow. Amazing.
Is your wife vegan as well?
Yeah, she's 100% vegan. She's very strict. She's very strict. She won't have, if she won't drink the creek water or drink the ocean water. I do, If I eat something that's a bug in there, I'm just eat it. I'm not going to worry about it. She won't. She pick it. I just eat it. Good on me. So back to something. So that's one thing. So protein powder. What else do we take? It's a funny thing. We've just been trying some. We do molasses, like molasses. It's very good minerals. But we've only just recently, both of us, started taking a powder called MSM. It's I never knew about it too. From my sporting days and all my stuff, I've played a lot of sport, not professionally, but I've played a lot of stuff. I do have my knee, it does swell up sometimes. I have a bit of problem in my knee and doing a lot of heavy lifting and weights and stuff, and I do get problems. It's okay, and the guy said if you take that MSM, it's a source of mineral, and it is plant-based. We've been doing it for about the last month. A teaspoon in the morning, teaspoon in the evening, just with some juice, psychologically or whatever. But it seems to be working quite well.
Oh, good.
Loosening up.
Good. That's incredible.
So I'm not perfect because I'm 68. So you got to realize that I don't recover as quickly as I did when I was 48 or 28. It takes longer. So we still lift weights. I still lift weights. Myself and my wife lift weights just about every day. We like gym. We got our own home gym. We've got actually on our property almost a commercial gym because I used to own a gymnasium before and I closed it down, put it up in storage, and now we put it in. We've got a massive big shed and we've got a commercial gym. So when people come to our property, they're blown away. Whoa, that's like a gym. Like it's full on. It's got all the equipment you can think of. It's like a full on. We don't have people come in for pay. It's only if the friends call over or visitors we might have a workout. But we don't want people coming. We want our own little haven. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Terry would love that.
Yeah, I was going to say,
he loves working out.
That's right up my alley.
You were just talking his language.
Yeah, it's good. We like that. So we do. But so we do some little supplementation stuff like that. My wife has just started to take some plant-based stuff for change of life as well. Menopause things. She's just taking because she's starting to get a few hot flushes and stuff like that. But we're not against it, but we don't do a lot of stuff like vitamins and minerals and stuff like. We try and keep it as natural as we can, and anything we do take, we do research it. Read the labels, go on, internet, try and research a bit more.
Sure.
But ultimately, so we're not raw. We're mostly about 75% raw and about 25% cooked.
How'd you know
Okay.
I was going to ask you that question? I was going to ask you because it seems like you eat an abundance of fruit. And
fruits and nuts, heaps of fruits and nuts, always heaps of fruits and nuts. And then in the afternoon, we don't have a meal. We make up a salad. For the last 50 years, mostly I always have a big salad, nice salad, anything I can find, from lettuce, carrot, tomato, cucumber, celery, capsicum, doesn't matter what it is. But I do something quite strange what a lot of people don't do. I supplement, when I have a salad, I always have a steamed veggie with it. I like to do some broccoli, some cauliflower, maybe some potato, sweet potato, do some yam, some taro. We change it up every day, or some beans. We don't have that in one hit. We might just have a couple of, like yesterday we had a salad and we had some steamed broccoli. And the day before we just didn't have it. And some days though we go completely raw. We just don't eat any cook. We look at each other today because we normally eat around about 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. And then we look at each other and it seems to synergize. And my wife says, "What should we do this evening? Shall we do just fruit?" And we tell, "Yeah, fruit. A rest." So we don't do it, but most probably 5 days a week we have cooked stuff. Oh, and the other thing is sometimes like I might make some rolled oats. Sometimes I do rolled oats. I make some rolled oats and I put some coconut water in it and some nutmeg and this and that. I make a rolled oats. I make really good rolled oats. And I have a little bowl, but I don't have it every day. I might have it once a week, twice a week. Sometimes I don't have it for a month. Yesterday, my son came to visit with his mates. They're on their way somewhere, and I said, "Pop in." And they, young lads, they want to eat. They're boys, they're on the way. They're on the way to a basketball tournament where we are. So I said, "Pop in on the way up." So they're hungry. So we normally keep some good quality vegan bread in the freezer, and then people like that we come. So yesterday, I had a couple of pieces of toast with them. We had some toast, and we had some cashew butter on it, and some banana.
Oh,
and I made them a protein shake, and the boys just had that down, and
Nice.
They probably felt so good. Are your kids plant-based?
No, they're not. None of them. None of them. They are aware. They all eat meat.
Okay.
But they are very aware. They're very, very aware of stuff.
I would imagine you raised them.
They were brought up until they go to school. They were brought up as vegan and vegetarian. And when they went to school, sleepovers, we never really were hard. Let them find their own journey. So like my son who came yesterday, he mostly does eat plant-based mostly all the time. He's mostly about 90%, and he goes lots of days, but sometimes he goes out and he has something, I mean?
Okay.
I don't know, but we don't tell the kids, we don't sort of tell the kids, we don't really tell them. I've never preached to my kids what to eat. They've got to find their own journey. And I tell everyone, everyone's their own, because there are people who don't seem to thrive being a vegan or vegetarian or a fruitarian. Some people seem to don't thrive. I've always thrived on it. I've always, from the day I gave up meat, and I haven't eaten any meat for over 50 years, I seem to thrive. My body just thrives. But I have a really good friend, a lady friend. I've known her for over 40 years, and she'd love to be a fruitarian and stuff, but she doesn't thrive on it. You know what I mean? She is a vegetarian. She eats a little bit of meat, but she just seems to, whether it's psychology or physiologically, I don't know. Just some people don't seem to thrive. I don't know.
Some people don't. That's why I completely agree with you. It has to be what works for you.
Yes.
And then I always say it's a lot of variables come into that. It's your emotions, your mentality, your genetics, where you live, your location. Stress will kill you more before anything else. You can eat the most purest food in the world, but stress, you've got to be contented in life if you can that way, and you've got to be happy.
Yes.
If you're miserable, and if you decide that you're going to become a vegan or vegetarian or whatever, and you're not happy, well, don't do it. I say,
Great advice.
Do it in your next life. Don't worry about this life. Just carry on.
Because I agree with you. It has to be whole. The food is only one part of it.
One part. It's only one part. And I think your mentality to I mean, it's easier said than done, but you've got to find something that resonates in your life that makes you happy. Have a positive outlook on life, and you wake up in the morning and you see goodness in life, not badness. We don't. Well, I look at a little bit of the news. I look at a little bit, very little, just a touch. I might just listen to the headlines and I turn it off. My wife never listens to the news. She never, ever, ever. If
Me
I news
Neither
it,
either.
do we.
I'm with
Neither do
her.
we.
I'm
Neither
with
do we.
her.
We find other ways to get the news because it was just so depressing
Depressing.
and so
oh yeah,
negative.
and
And
and, and, and yeah, and very kind of manipulate. It's very
They
coercive.
brainwash you. It's all brainwashing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we don't do medication. We don't. Obviously, we didn't do the vaccination. We're not against that. We're against that stuff. We don't do. I've never had anything like that. I was actually talking to my son yesterday, and I said it's funny what the government, like our health. We have a very good health system in Australia. It's all paid for. Anything you
Right.
want,
mhm.
but they enable people to be sick and disabled. You go to the shopping centre now, and all the 2 rows of cars is all for disabled people, and all the people are mobile. You got to drive away from the entrance. I suppose they have that in the USA. So the very people who need the exercise, they put close to the door so they don't have to walk. And the people who don't need the exercise, you got to walk,
Yep.
400
They
meters to
don't
the
look
shop.
at it that way.
Right.
They don't look
And
at it that way.
I was saying to my son yesterday, why don't the government reward people for good lifestyle or good behavior? For example, I haven't, my cost to and I pay tax because I still work and I enjoy that. I enjoy my work. I don't go crazy, but that part of that tax goes towards the health system. The cost to the Australian government for our health is zero. I haven't put any stress on that health system for 50 years. I'm never in Australia because I came here 43 years ago. So I've never been to the doctors here.
You've never been to the doctor? You've never been sick?
Why would I get sick?
That's incredible. So
That
you've
is
been
incredible.
sick in 50 years, Jean?
Well, what? Because it's natural to be healthy. It's not natural to be sick.
Wow,
You just
incredible.
you
Wow.
are just I was thinking that happiness would be waking up in the morning, tropical, and picking your breakfast off of a tree. Like, wow.
I've been very, very fussy in the sense of my food or my drinks is my medicine. That's my medicine.
Right.
That's the.
Oh,
I was just.
Food is medicine.
music to my ears.
I was
Food is
talking to
Yay.
talking to my son yesterday with his basketball friends. They're here and they're all mainstream. The basketball, they're just whatever. And I said, the best doctor in the world is when you look in the mirror in the morning. You look in the mirror. You're your doctor. You're your doctor. And I was saying you need to reward people for good health. I didn't put it. We don't cost any. We don't put. And I said, and I took that to driving. They always giving us fines and demerit points for speeding and all this sort of stuff or whatever But what about rewarding people who never come into contact with the law regarding driving? They never. Like my wife, she's never ever had one demerit point, one speeding ticket, nothing.
Wow.
She still pays registration as someone who speeds or whatever. Costs a lot of. Why don't they? Even if you give them $5 off a year, well, $5 is $5.
Right.
I love your
Right.
idea.
That's a great idea. Jean, let me ask you, what do you think? Where do you think you would be health-wise if you hadn't started this journey, 51 years ago? Where do you think you would be? I'm just curious.
Look, genetics might save me to a certain degree, but I definitely wouldn't be in the health condition I'm being now. I can say that almost 100%. I don't have any diabetes, high blood pressure, arthritis. They say I have an injured knee from sport. That's injured, but I don't have any other joint, nothing at all.
Incredible.
But look at your skin.
Incredible.
Look at your skin. Your skin is
Hearing,
amazing.
teeth, everything.
Incredible.
But my father lived to 88. He was from Kingston, Jamaica. He was a drinker and a smoker his whole life. He was a musician, jazz musician. He started off the Glass Slipper Club in 1940s in USA, in New York.
Okay.
The first Glass Slipper Club.
Okay.
In 1940s. He was a jazz musician. And in those days, what it's like, those people.
Sure. Yeah.
It was trendy to smoke. It was trendy. But with my dad, though, he never ate sweets. His thing every day, he'd have his meal, typical Jamaican, he'd have his chicken and curry goat and all this stuff about and rice, always rice and beans and vegetables, but never have a sweet. He sit down after, pour his glass of whiskey and ice, whatever, rocks or something, ice on rocks or something. Every day, always a glass of whiskey, or rum, typical Jamaican,
Wow.
and sit and watch TV. Whereas my mum, English lady, always eating sweets and lollies, and my dad used to eat. And another thing with my dad that I learned from though I've observed it, I haven't learned it, because he used to eat real slowly, slow. And you always hear him eating. He's going, like with him, chewing. He lived to 88. My mother passed at 77. My mother passed away with lung cancer.
Oh,
But
I'm sorry.
one thing about my mother, she was a mouth breather her whole life. She never ever breathed through her nose, only her mouth. You always hear we used to joke when we were kids. Oh, here's mum, you can hear her.
Oh.
All of you, and we had coal fires in England, coal in those days, because coal.
Mhm.
You know, all and London, fumes and all this sort of stuff, and breathing, and I think that's what happened. And she never breathed. Always thought she was a mouth breather. We could never, mum, breathe through your nose, breathe through your nose. No, I can't do that. I can only breathe through my mouth. Shallow.
Wow.
So that's mostly of it. But her mother lived to 94, and my dad's dad, my dad's side, lived to 99. My grandfather, who I never met, and he was a smoker and a drinker. And but his wife died at 66 of diabetes, sugar. See, women like sugar, too much sugar. Women, you know.
Right.
The men used to do whiskey and rum and working hard. The women used to be the childbearers, and then they used to, eat comfort food and that. But so the men in my family live longer than the women, which it's a trend from what the normal population.
Yeah.
So with you folks, so you got plant-based business. Is it plant-based business? Is that what you have or something?
I'm raw, and but we've been whole food plant-based, and then I went raw, and Terry went high raw. It sounds like you and your wife are high raw. Like you eat mostly raw.
Raw.
Yeah. High raw, which is really cool. But I mean, we're on YouTube just trying to encourage people and inspire people and teach and help so that they can live, long lives. And if they are sick, get off those medications.
Right. And we're interviewing people like you to help with that journey and just to help people so they can.
You've got a tangible example, a real life example.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, just looking at you, people are going to be like, there's no way he's 68. Because I'm still thinking, no way is he 68.
People think that,
Yeah. I mean,
but I've started at a young age. But it's a good. And so you you sell products, or what are your story? You're working. What are you doing, your folks? It's just a part-time passion.
Yeah, it's just a passion to help people. We want to help people, so we built an app with recipes and trying to show people that you don't have to cook with heavy oil and heavy salt, and
sugar.
you can eat whole foods and make delicious meals, and they're wonderful. So just
and we
trying to
started
help people.
We started due to health reasons. So I had high blood pressure, and I was
on
cholesterol medication.
So
that's how this all started. And Angel was the one that kind of brought this to our lives, and we've just embraced it and taken it to another level. So, and again, we're just trying to help people and outreach, and we're just so glad that you're a part of it. You're a part of us helping other people.
It's part of the tribe. So how long have you been plant-based, Terry?
4 years.
4 years. And have you noticed some changes? A lot of changes?
Oh my God! Off of my cholesterol medication in 5 weeks. Down to 1/4 of one blood pressure medication. I've dropped 20 pounds. I'm an athlete, former athlete. I didn't get a chance to go to the Olympics, but I competed at a high level, in college. I triple jumped. I ran the 300 meters indoor. I ran the 400 meters outdoor, 4x4. So yeah.
So he was loving.
Did you change? Was it quite seamless to change? Was it easy for you, or did you struggle with changing?
just like that. Once we watched Game Changers, and our video is kind of on our site, but we watched Game Changers, which Angel recommended that I watch, and she knew that it would get me because it's all about athletes, as you know, them eating, being vegan, and just changed my life overnight.
But I think you're a lot
morning,
like Gene. I think he's a lot like you, Gene. When you tell Terry this is what's best for you, and he knows it's for his health and his body and the way he's going to feel, there's no gradual, he says, why would I eat that stuff? I'm a cheat day or whatever. I'm just cheating myself,
right. Especially with the way I feel amazing.
Yeah, you look
I'm
great.
56.
Fantastic.
56, and I feel like I'm 36.
That's
I
beautiful.
love it. So Gene, I want to know about how you feel about fruit, because there's always a fruit controversy. Fruit causes diabetes.
Get on, baby.
Yeah, I want to know everything you feel about fruit.
I love fruit. I love fruit. I eat heaps of fruit. Most of my diet is fruit. I'm a fruit maniac.
Me too.
And so is my wife. I think I eat more fruit than you, don't I? Come say hello to these people quickly.
Yes, come on.
Yeah, come on over.
Gonna say a quick hello.
Hi,
how
what's
are
her
you?
name? No, she can come in. She's beautiful.
She's low key.
She's beautiful.
It was I love fruit. I can eat fruit. Some days we just have only fruit days.
Yeah.
I love fruit. Now, I don't worry, once again, I don't worry about what we're told through nutrition science and all that about too much sugar, even diabetes and too much sugar. It's natural sugar. It's sugar that you can utilize and process. It's not synthetic sugar.
That's right.
And there's a lot of people have been on diabetes and just stayed on a fruit diet for a month, and they've got rid of their sugar levels and gone right down.
Yep, because it's caused by the fat in the meat. The diabetes is all fat. It's not fructose. It's not fructose.
Yeah.
Right.
But fruit. It's funny thing around where we live. We live in a rural area. We're not in a city. We're in rural on acreage, and we've been here. We moved here about 2.5 years ago, and we've got to know a few people because we're quite different. And a lot of people, because we're in a tropical country, you grow a lot of stuff. So there's lots of people grow fruit trees around here, especially citrus, grapefruits, oranges, all that kind of thing. And they don't eat them. And we go to our neighbors, they got these trees full of citrus fruit. And we say to them,
wow,
what are you going to do with that stuff? Oh, we're going to just rake it up and fry it away. I said, well, okay, take it. We literally get bagfuls of citrus fruit for months and months and months.
Wow.
And I say to them, why don't you eat this stuff? Oh, no, because I'm on high blood pressure tablets. It's not good for me. And I've got gout and I've got diabetes. I don't eat fruit. All these people, it's played into our hands because we just get all this fruit. And they look at us and they know we look healthy and they're looking really sick, but they're looking like what I did not want to look like when I was 17. I told myself when I was 17, I never want to look like that. And when I see these people now, our age, are in their 60s and 70s, they look exactly how I never wanted to be. So I say to them, and I try, and I don't preach to them. I don't say to them, you should do this. I just say, why? I just ask, why don't you have it? I don't, and I leave it at that. And they say, oh, I'm on medication. It plays up with, it's bad for my joints. It's bad for my this and that. And I just leave it.
No.
If they see us now, we go walking or we go jogging past their place every day. They can look, they can observe. They know my age. They've asked us, how old are you? I've told them. I'm the same age as them, maybe a little bit younger. They can, these guys, they're like partially disabled. They can hardly walk. They wobble.
Oh, that's
so they can ask. But I'm never going to tell someone you should do this or you should do that. It's up to them to come to us if they want. And if they come to us, I'm happy to share. But I'm not going to preach to people. You've got to find your own sort of journey.
I completely agree. I wish people, I love what you're saying about fruit, because I think fruit is our ultimate medicine for our body. And fructose, when you eat the natural fruit, it doesn't overwork your liver like when you're eating cakes and pies and biscuits. And pasta and that type of stuff. Fruit just goes in and it goes into our cells and it gives us energy. It makes us vibrant. Look how you're glowing. It's all a fruit glow.
Nature's medicine. It's nature's medicine. And it's just, it's free. It's abundant. It's just nature's medicine. It's incredible. It's God's gift to us.
Exactly. And I'll tell you another thing about free. It's a funny thing, because we live in the tropics, we got lots of coconut trees here. There's coconuts everywhere. And they just fall on the floor. And people just take them to the rubbish tip or leave them. And then now they leave them out. They leave them out the street for us. They know we're coming up the street. We pick them up. We get so much coconut. So we get the whole coconut, and then we get a pickaxe and we take the husk off, the fibrous bit. And then we put a little hole in the eye of the coconut, pour the water out, and then we crack it, and we've got a coconut grater. You can grate the coconut and it comes out fluffy. Do you know about that one?
Yum. Yeah.
A lot of the Asians do that. We have it with fruit on our fruit salad every day.
Oh wow!
There's a market up here that sells fruit salad with grated coconut. They charge $10 for it. We get it free. There's free. We mostly save about $100 a week on our food bill by just growing stuff or scavenging stuff or whatever you want to collecting stuff. We don't have any no pride when it comes to that. There's so many people, they just don't eat fruit. There's so much stuff here. It's like Australia is it can be very affluent here in lots of ways, and they mostly white Anglo-Saxon from England. They don't understand. It's all, they bring their same habits from a cold climate to a warm climate. So a fact, I just want to tell you a fact that a lot of people might not realize. Australia is the only tropical area in the world, in the whole of the planet Earth, where you think of every tropical area in the whole of the world to go through Africa, through South America, Central America, Asia, wherever. If you go right around the globe, you draw that line down. Australia is the only place in the whole world that has predominantly, in a tropical area, white Anglo-Saxon. Think about that.
Wow, I had no idea.
No idea.
Bring with them their white, and I'm not using it as a race thing, it's just a fact of life. Anglo, they bring with them their British, American, whatever you want to call it, European habits here. So, they still eat that heavy diet. You don't need it in a tropical climate. 3 meals of meat a day. I was talking to a guy the other day. He was doing some work for us. Oh, I'm having a cooked breakfast. I'm having eggs, bacon, mushroom, this, that. But, you can't eat that stuff here. You can't survive. The body will get clogged up. So you've got to adjust. But the reason why so many people get sick, especially in this tropics, I never thought about this until something made me aware that Australia is the only tropical, because we have a tropical, if you go to the northern part of Australia, because we're down the other side of the equator, down under, further north you go here, it's warmer. Whereas the further south you go, because you're on the other side of the equator.
Exactly.
So north is hot, south is cold. Whereas down your side,
that makes no sense to us.
It's just the opposite for us.
Yeah, opposite, exactly. So we live up in the northern part of Australia, north, near the tropical. And it's the only place in the whole world, in any tropical climate, you can go around the whole world, that's actually predominantly white Anglo-Saxon people. So we're still a minority. So it's quite interesting that.
Well, I'm going to be your neighbor, because when I hear there's fresh fruit falling off trees and you're getting it for free, I'm going to come knocking on your door. Hey, Jean, can I use your gym?
Yeah, you can. So I can ask you, what made you change?
My husband. I love my husband and I want him to be around forever.
So your husband became a plant-based before you?
No, I encouraged him to become plant-based for his health. Because he's so athletic and he was working out all the time. He actually thought he was eating healthy. He was never a junk food eater. He never ate fried food. He was eating, grilled chicken salads, string cheese, yogurt.
Yeah. Good on you.
Making him sick. And I just said, come eat this way. So I do it. I did it primarily for him, but I would never go back, Jean. I love the way I feel.
How long have you been plant-based yourself, Angel?
Same as Terry.
4 years.
So you did the research on your husband's behalf, and then you both, and together it's a lot easier. And I must add on that note, when you talk about holistic health, love is as important as anything else. You've got love, and you've got, if you're in a healthy relationship, beautiful. It's love is king, just like the food.
Yes, it is.
And you got to look. So many people, I get emails and I get text messages, messenger, and people say to me, "Look, I've been on this diet on fruit or vegan, and I'm going backwards." But I say to them, if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. It's more. I ask them, "What's your home life like? Are you happy? What is your location? Where are you living? What's your emotions like? It's everything. It's not just one magic thing." And that's what I think in the Western society they want us to. They always, science.
Pill. You want a magic
they,
pill?
They want an easy answer. They always want an easy answer. There's no easy answer. And I always say to people, "What do the gorillas and the elephants and all that? What do they do for vitamin B12?"
Exactly.
They don't worry about it. Incidentally, while on the subject of being plant-based and vegan, all this sort of stuff, we just recently got a pussycat.
Okay.
But we still feed it meat because it's a carnivore. And when you can't afford, it's their genetics. It's got claws and it's got teeth and stuff. It's quite cute. It's lovely. And we put a bell. We put all these bells. We can hear it rattling everywhere. So it can't catch any wildlife because it's got the bells. It's always chasing. It's chasing birds, chasing rodents and marsupials. It's that instinct.
That's right.
I don't do that. We don't do that sort of stuff. So they've got to realize. But I know there are people who they try and make their pets, like dogs and cats, vegan or this. But I don't know if it's quite right. I'm not built that way.
No, I think cats should probably could eat raw meat because that is their diet. They were made to go, and that's like humans. We aren't going to go. We're going to go out in the woods. We kill stuff with bow and arrow, with a gun. We can't catch it with our teeth and kill it.
And eat
it would kill us first.
Right.
And you salivate at blood and raw meat. I don't do that. I never have. You don't either. So I know a lot of, and the other thing I'd say also on my journey is that I say to people, just because everybody does a certain thing doesn't mean it's the right thing to do.
That's right.
Just because everybody does it, is it? You've got to. Sometimes I always say to people, if you follow the crowd, you're going to end up like the crowd. So you make that choice. I don't, in my Facebook page, I'm always putting something. I put something up there today and yesterday about that sort of thing. You follow the crowd, and it does take discipline. It does take discipline, but you've got to, But
Terry always says you can be a bird, and flock together, or you can be an eagle, right?
And soar.
An eagle and soar. So it's the same thing as you were saying. Follow the crowd, or be a bird, or be an eagle. So
it's a very interesting thing. There was a guy on Facebook the other day, and he's into plant-based living, but he says, "I'm really depressed and miserable." And I said, I didn't say to him, I texted him back, and I said, "Well, why? You've got to find the cause. What are you doing?" And some other people said stuff, and someone said about, they smoke dope and weed, and then he said, "I've been doing that as well. That doesn't seem to work." I said, "Well, no, that's not going to work. You've got to find the cause of your issues, because we've been brought up and conditioned that if we have a problem, we look for a suppressant, like a remedy, and we don't get to the cause of the problem. We've got to find to the cause. There's always a cause." But I was very interested. You asked me this question before. You were quite astounded. Why haven't I got sick or whatever? But why should we get sick? The question I ask you: should we get sick?
I don't think. I don't think we should, but I love to meet people that can say, "I've been eating this way for 5 decades, and guess what? I don't get sick." It's just astonishing.
Yeah. So when you ask me a question, do you have an expectation that you will get sick?
Me? No, I told Terry I'm never going to get sick again.
But you know what? But wait, you bring up a good point, because that changed. We never thought we'd be able to control, not getting cancer or, any other of those devastating ailments, because a lot of our family have died from cancer and a lot of different ailments. So we were thinking, wow, what are our chances? So now we know our chances are very, 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 very slim because, of the way we live our lifestyle, the way we eat. So you bring up a good point.
It's a good point, yeah, Terry, because we're conditioned that, we get, you think of old, you think of sickness. Now, I sell real estate, and I'm selling this rainforest property. It's got a beautiful creek down the bottom of the property, but it's a steep hill like that. You've got to be an athlete to get down there. So I had a guy ring me up this morning. He says, can I come and look at the property? And the first question I said to him, I said, what's your mobility like and your health like? Because if you're not mobile, you're not going to be able to get to this beautiful creek. Because I've taken so many people there and they can't even access it. They're not fit enough. Mm-hmm. And so the guy said to me, well, how old are these people? I said, the age has got nothing to do with it. I've taken 20-year-olds there who can't walk down the steep cliff. I've taken 70-year-olds who can. It's not, and this is another thing that we're conditioned in our society, age. It doesn't matter about age. Mm-hmm. It's your condition. Mm-hmm. It's your health. But I believe from what I've read and seen that, we should live a healthy life like a lot of animals. We shouldn't die of all these degenerative disease, like you said, cancer and high blood pressure and diabetes and strokes. We shouldn't die. We should live our natural life, and then we go to sleep, and one day we just don't wake up. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because eventually, from when I've spoken to a lot of older people, and I know a lot of people into good health, into healthy lifestyle, there comes a stage for some, not all, that they just get tired. It's just had enough of life. Mm-hmm. It just wants to. I knew a guy in his 90s, a guy called John Fielder. And he was a pioneer for this stuff. He was doing veganism in the 1960s, the 50s and 60s. Like the people were, you get locked up for doing things like that. But, I spoke to him, he's just passed away recently, but I spoke to him before that, and he said, like, I've had a lot, he's got children and grandkids. He's just tired. He just wants to close his eyes and go to sleep now. Okay. There comes a time, maybe for me one day, I might not have any sickness. I might just, the funny thing is when you change your diet, nutrition, your whole spirit changes. You feel like you connect more to source. Whether you call it God or whatever you want to call it, you become more conscious. Yeah. And what I've found that my spirituality has really heightened since I've changed over these years. I've been on this for 50 years, this journey. So obviously my whole consciousness, my whole way of thinking and my way of connecting with everything is different from someone who's living mainstream and they're dead from the neck up, or whatever you want to call it. I think your level of awareness and perception really heightens. Mm-hmm. And the older I get, that side of me really grows. So I don't know how I'm going to feel like in another 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. I might come to a stage and say, you know what? I'm connecting so much to the source now. Maybe I just want to shut my eyes. I want to find out what this exciting journey is beyond cool life. I don't know. I haven't got there yet, and I'm not ready to close my eyes yet. But there might come a time when I will want to close my eyes. And if it is that time, I don't want to be sick and disabled. And I hope that I'm quite a healthy person, but I'm just tired. I've just had enough of this physical life.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because when you get to that point, which we are at, we feel the same way. There's such a high vibration when you get around people that are eating the way that you do and like-minded and just happy and joyous in their life. It brings you such a high vibe. It's incredible. Mm-hmm. And like you say, whether it's God or a higher power or whatever it is, you feel so connected. Yeah,
that's what it is, Angel. I feel like and now, you will remember now, we don't live in a city. We live in a rainforest. Mm-hmm. There's trees all around us. Just think of all the vibrational energy from those trees, and bird life and animals, and we connect. We go out, and it sounds strange, but we go out and hug trees. We sit next to trees. We sit close to trees.
I love it.
Because who are we to say we download energy, health messages from all around us? So you talk about health. So you might say, okay, well, we're plant-based, but we're totally plant-based from a person living in a city. So you can't compare us. Mm-hmm. The air we breathe is pure.
That's right.
Yeah, sure. That's
right.
Yeah. We eat a lot of our own homegrown food on fertile soil, volcanic soil. We don't have mains water. We have rainwater. We've got rainwater tanks. So the water is right. We don't use fluoridate or whatever you want to call it. It's pure water. You know what I mean? These things, it's all the little things that add up. It's not just one thing. Oh, what do you eat? Yes, it's a vital part of it, but it's not the complete journey. Like yourself, we have a beautiful, loving relationship. We're very close. We're very affectionate with each other, And I'll tell you something amazing, Terry, as a male, I was brought up as a tough male. We don't show emotions. We don't cry. It's only in the last 10 years of my life I can shed tears of joy and happiness. I do. I cry a lot now.
Good for you.
I go to my wife, or I talk about a story. I go to my wife or my children. I tell them I hug them, I love them, and I cry. But I wasn't able to do that. I wasn't always, because I was brought up my father was told me, you don't cry. Boys don't cry. That's sissy. That's, and as men, we have those challenges. Women not. Women, if a woman cries openly in public, we accept it. If a man, we look at it, we think it's a weakness. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's all those things. It's all those things that come. So I'd say when I've been on this lifestyle for such a long time now, as I get older, and I look at it like things are changing. My spirit, my psychology, my everything's changing gradually, and it's like a runaway train. When you start something, first of all, it's slow, but you've got to think that most probably my body is becoming cleaner and cleaner. So you think of most people in their 60s and 70s, they're most probably thinking, oh, my body's becoming more toxic, it's becoming more clogged, deadened, their perceptions are becoming it's becoming suppressed. Well, my perception is becoming heightened. My vibration is becoming higher. So my body's actually becoming cleaner. So it's a totally different. It's a different thing. Level,
but like, even you have such a strong vibration and such a strong, I don't know, will and inspiration about you. I was so drawn to you, and that is not really like me. I asked Terry, I don't reach out to people like that. And I told him, I said, there's this man and he's on, and there's something about him that is so special. And I just don't do that. I'm not like that. I'm like you. I'm in all the groups. I don't comment a lot because some of the stuff is so negative.
Sure.
People argue, you eat watermelon without seeds. It's like, well, I mean, if that's all I have access to, I mean, yes, I'll eat a watermelon without seeds, but I'm not eating a dead animal,
right? Exactly.
So. This is a good question for you. This is a good question for you now. A bit off the track, but it kind of is. Okay, we're vegans. We're plant-based. And we've read that novel and seen the movie, The Andes, when they had a plane crash. And there's footballers, soccer players in the South America, and they crashed. This happened in the 1970s, and a lot of them killed, a lot of them survived in the Andes, and the only way they survived was to eat the bodies of the other people. And I said to we've been reading the book together, my wife and I, and been watching the movie. And I said to my wife, if you're in a situation where, in that same situation, would you be prepared to eat your fellow people, man or woman, to survive? Would you do that? Tough question.
I mean, for me right now, sitting here feeling well, I have to say, I don't think I can do that. I don't have that. I feel like if that's where I'm at and my soul is supposed to go, then I'm not going to eat people. And that's how I feel right now, because I'm not crazy right now. I'm healthy,
We're not in that situation, Johnny. Now, my wife said vehemently, no, there's no way. I'll just close my eyes, let life take me if I had the cake, and maybe I would be like that too. The issue with myself is that I have such a strong will to live still. I have so much chapters in my book to write. And I think, and I've done a lot of fasting. I've done water. So, okay, talk about the sickness, another thing. If we ever get the sniffles, occasionally we do get the sniffles, and we just go on water. We just drink water until it goes. But because my body is quite clean, I've been doing this for so many years, I can have a few little bit of a sniffles, because I go out in public and I meet people. I mean, I shake people's hands, I hug people, because I am a bit of a sort of person, I don't know, and they sneeze and cough over me, and then they've got their kids climbing on my lap and coughing and spluttering and snotty noses, that's life. So, and Yeah, I get the sniffles occasionally, not very often. Maybe, oh God, I don't know. It gets less and less. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe last time I had sniffles about 4 years ago or something. I don't know. But occasionally it used to happen. It used to happen more often, and I just fast, abstain. But sometimes, because I feel I don't need to go on the water, sometimes we might just go on a day of just drinking juice only.
Yeah.
I'm going with this. Forgot what I was going to say. So yeah. So if I was in a situation where I was in a situation where it was an accident like that, in the Andes, and I couldn't access any food, and not going to see any fruit in the snow. I think because I understand the healing power of nature, I think I would most probably, and I'm in that mindset, I know that we can live without food for quite a considerable time.
Yeah.
So a lot of people die because they think themselves into dying. Oh, I haven't had a meal for 3 days or 2 days, I'm going to die. People think if they miss meals, they're going to die. I know for a fact we won't, that we can last for quite a long time. So my mindset would say, well, I know I can live quite a few weeks, most probably without food, with the correct mindset.
Yep.
Then there will come stage, but not indefinitely. I'm not at that development yet where I can be a breatharian, live on breath. Maybe I'm
I
not
was
saying.
going to ask you. So, what do you think about the breatharian?
You know what? I don't know enough about it. I'm not advanced enough. It seems almost. Look, I think anything's possible, because if there is such thing as a breatharian, I've never met anybody personally. They might be in a higher state of development than myself. That's another level. That's getting right into the angelic side of life, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
I'm not there yet. Maybe it's something I've never desired to do, or that sort of thing. But I know we can go without food for quite a longer time than what maybe the medical profession might say. So if I got to the stage and I was in the Andes and I was like, hadn't eaten anything for 3 weeks or something or whatever, and I found that and I felt myself going, and I felt, oh God, there's all these dead people around, and the flesh isn't going to rot because it's cold. Would I then make that decision? I don't know. I haven't been there yet. Would I make the decision?
Eat the snow. We could eat the. You could eat the snow and stay hydrated.
Exactly. So the thing is, though,
it's a good idea.
It just depends how you are. It's a sort of an unfair question. I just threw it on you because we talk about all these things all the time.
No, I think it's really good to think about, though.
Critical thinking and just playing it out. Just to, you put yourself in that situation. It's a tough question. Tough question.
It really is tough, and you should be on Survivor.
We get nutrients from everything. Our skin is our third lung. We absorb a lot through skin. We breathe. That's nutrients. The water. It comes back to that thing of holistic. And I always used to follow my 7 natures doctors. Good food, fresh air, water, rest and relaxation, positive mental attitude, adequate sleep, exercise. There's 7 natures doctors that we all need, regardless of our ethnic background or male, female, gender, doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So there's certain basic needs. But ultimately, I think the most important thing in life is to be contented wherever your journey is, wherever you're at. Wherever you're at.
I can, because if you don't have that, what do you really have?
Right. Exactly.
Just using my own example, my father, he was so contented as a man, a really fantastic guy, but he just loved his rum and his cigarette in the evening. I'm not going to take that away from him. Dad, don't do that. He did that to the day he died. He was in his own house to the day he just had a massive stroke and died at 88.
Oh, wow.
He was driving the day before he died. He was driving around the shopping center, did his shopping because my mother passed away 11 years before him. So he was living on his own house. He had all his own hearing. He had sight. He had full driving. He was a very independent man, cooked himself, everything. But his time was, and I knew that would happen to my dad because he was, the way he lived with the smoking, especially, and I thought he'd just blow up one day, which he did. He just had a massive heart stroke, and just one stroke just did it for him. But that's mostly the way he wanted to be. He didn't want to be a disabled man where you come and watch him and feed him. He was a proud man. He wouldn't want that. So I think my dad went the way he went when he was, you know what I mean? Full life up to the day he died. He had a full life. So I'm happy for that. Whereas my mother, she suffered for the last 3 or 4 months of her life and cancer and what do they call it? Rotting away, you know, whatever you call it, get thin and weak, and you know what I mean? It's a different lifestyle. So I think actually my dad had a better, although he had a massive heart stroke, I think he had a better death. You understand? Than my
I
mother.
know,
You know, he's-
I get it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
You know,
it's just
I'm
it's,
so
it's,
sorry
it's
to
so
hear
sad,
that.
but
he died on his terms because he wasn't going to give up anything. He still had his habits and wanted to do that, you know, and
Mhm.
he listened to his music at night, you know, and smoke his
But
cigarettes
he was
and drink.
content, like you said.
Exactly.
What, he was a real contented guy, a very contented. And I think that's the most important thing. So I used to judge a lot of people who are overweight or do this, and I don't know. I said, well, that's just their journey.
Mhm.
And their journey is not my journey. And it's not for them. Not everybody is not for them. The way
Right.
the
Exactly.
way the way you live, and you must have got friends and family. So it's not for them. So just leave them and just be the change, be the example you want.
That's right.
And
I
we
love
and we
that.
and we feed off of each other, and
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
been doing this for 4 years, and we hear it all like, where do you get your protein from? Where do you get your B12? And our
All
blood
the
work
time.
is better than it's ever been. We feel as healthy as we've ever felt, and so it's just you're right.
And then when you tell people
know.
you don't really need protein, you need amino acids, then you really blow their mind.
Yeah,
They don't get it. So I don't really like the debate, the debate, you be you. I know how I feel. I love
Good.
being around people like
Yeah.
you because it's so energizing and it feels so good and it's so pure. There's something pure about it,
Right,
you know?
it is.
So you were
Good.
talking about your dad smoking and drinking. Have you ever
Yeah.
smoked or drank? Do you drink caffeine, like
No,
coffee?
drink coffee. No. Okay. So I did have a look when I was 17 in London, and remember in the 70s, it was very trendy to be a smoking, and
Yep.
there's a big drug culture in London.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
So when I was 17, I bought a packet of cigarettes, and I was an athlete, but you thought, oh, you know, that's the thing you do still. And I smoked 3 cigarettes and put that down, never smoke it again. There was 20 in the
wow.
packet. And then I went for a little phase, smoking weed, about 6 months of my life. Because
Okay.
also you got to remember the cultural thing, you know, Jamaica, Bob Marley, you know, it's
Yeah.
all what Jamaican doesn't smoke weed sort of thing, you know what I mean? And I used to have dreadlocks, by the way, too. It made it worse. So
Really?
you're Jamaican, you have dreadlocks, and you don't smoke weed. What's wrong with you? You know. So, but you know what? That period of my life was negative because I'm a very bubbly person, so it brought me down. The most unhappiest 6 months of my life was when I was doing a little bit of weed. I didn't like it. It made me
Chemicals.
apathetic.
Chemicals.
I didn't want that. I've never touched it ever since. I've never been a coffee drinker. Never have. Alcohol. Not into alcohol. I don't know. It's just.
Well, you look amazing. You look amazing.
That's
You can tell. You look amazing.
that's awesome. So tell us, what do you typically eat in a day? Do you eat 3 meals a day? Do you eat 5? What do you eat?
Good question. I don't count it. I just go as I feel.
Yep.
A typical day would be today, like any other day. In the morning, we normally squeeze a fruit juice. Citrus fruit is in season at the moment, so my wife will squeeze some beautiful grapefruit, ruby grapefruit. We do grapefruit or orange, or we got a juice, a cold pressed juice, or we might do some apples. And you got to remember the apples and the carrots don't grow in the tropics. That's imported food, whereas the citrus fruit grows here. We try and be as local as we can. So always start with fruit juice. Then I might go away and do something. I might do some stretching or go and get in the garden for half an hour, and I come back and I normally have some fruit. And I don't. When I have my breakfast, we don't eat together breakfast. My wife has her and I eat mine because I like eating standing up. So what I do is, in our kitchen we got a fruit bowl, fruits and all that and the nuts, and I just sit there and I just dice stuff up. The banana there, and I'll eat that, and then I'll have some nuts and I'll have this, and I just pour this morning. What my wife has got me into a habit. We do like to dip our bananas really nice into tahini or nut butter.
I'm gonna try that.
Peanut butter or some other nut butter. We get dried figs. I like dried figs and tahini. That's a thing I've never touched it. I do. So we dip dried fruit, and I have. So this morning, so far, this morning I've only had I've had a glass of grapefruit juice, and like it's midday here now, so I've been up for 6 hours. So I've had a grapefruit juice. I've had a banana with some nut paste, some nuts, fresh nuts, some dried fruit, and that's all so far. Okay. And then I'm going to make a protein shake. So I'll get my protein shake and my blender, I'll fill it up with half with coconut water, half with rice milk. I like rice milk or unsweetened one or almond milk. I put some seeds in it. My wife's made up a mix of sesame, sunflower, and pumpkin, raw ones.
Yeah.
I just take a scoop of that, put it in, and I put a banana in there. I like coconut cream, so I put a bit of coconut cream in there, and a big scoop of protein powder, and away I go. That's what I have. I'll have that soon when I finish now.
Wow.
And this afternoon, and then some days I train in the gym. I'm not training today. Some days I go out to work, and I'll just take some fruit with me and some nuts. I've done some yoga. I did some stretching this morning as well in between. I've done a lot of stretching.
Yeah, that's great.
But this afternoon, we most probably have some. Well, we will have a nice big salad. But what we have with that, we don't know. Maybe some beans. We might bake some potatoes. We do sometimes, as a treat, get some of that. What's that? I don't know what that is. And some we do get some of that packet. What do you call it? Like processed cheese, vegan cheese. We don't have it every day. Sometimes we don't buy it for ages. We might just, when the potato's hot, we might put that on the milk, that sort of thing. So, but that's our 75%. You know.
Yeah.
Something a lot, not a lot, but I do have most days. I get some vegan. I get the dark chocolate. I eat chocolate.
Okay.
It's something about 85%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not real sweet.
Yes.
And I just have a little couple of squares. And I have that. I have herbal tea. So I make some chai tea, and I put some coconut milk and some rice milk in it. We use coconut sugar as well.
Okay.
Put it in.
Yeah.
Sometimes I put molasses. What you got there, love? You all right? Hey? Oh, that's right. The pussy. We heard some noise, and we get my pussy cat running around. My wife said, "I hope she's not got a snake in her."
Oh.
But yeah, you know, just mix it up every day, you know. So I like a warm drink. Well, not coffee. I do have herbal tea, or you can get that Caro. You got Caro, like a barley drink, like a substitute, and I make that as well. And I put coconut sugar. You know coconut sugar?
Yeah.
Do coconut sugar? Get coconut sugar.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't have anything, and I say, just because this guy's giving me some honey, I'm having a bit of honey.
Yeah.
So my wife said, "Well, that's not vegan." So I said, "Oh, I have it. That's what I feel like, you know." But we're okay. We're not really, you know. But I eat standing up all day. The only time I sit down is when we have our main meal about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We sit down and have a meal together.
Why do you eat standing up? What's your reason?
It's just convenient.
Oh, okay. I thought I was just looking for you to say, "Oh, it's better digestion" or whatever.
My wife never does. Always do. I stand. I eat. I don't know. I like eating standing up, and I walk around and eat. I don't know.
Well, you can multitask, right? So how do you feel? How about because you were talking about your rainwater? How about what you wash your body with? You know, what do you think about chemicals and soaps and stuff?
We use try and get a homemade soap. My wife doesn't use soap. I like soap.
Okay.
I use a little a natural kind of aluminium-free deodorant.
Yeah.
Essential oils, and put oil. I only use coconut oil on my skin. Whenever I have a shower, I get coconut oil, wipe it all on me, pure oil. Yeah. And then put some aromatherapy on or something, you know, to spruce up a bit if I want to. You know?
That's right. It feels so good.
Teeth with I've got a little water flosser for teeth, you know.
Yeah.
And then we use a herbal based toothpaste. I know some people don't. We know a lot of vegans and veg. They don't believe in brushing their teeth. We do. We're
absolutely.
Yes.
We shave. Some people don't. You know, we shave.
We definitely believe in brushing our teeth. Absolutely.
You know, and I brush my teeth out every time. I brush my teeth about 4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah. So it's funny because people will say, "Well, when you eat so much fruit, it's not good for your teeth." It's like, no, you just have to practice good hygiene on your teeth. You know, brush them a few times a day. Right. We use the water pick and dental floss.
Just normal hygiene.
Just that sort of thing, a little bit like that. So we're not kind of right out there. We're kind of a bit that way. I'll tell you another thing, a topic, which we don't do, but we know people who do. They drink their urine. You heard about that one? People drink urine?
No, I don't drink my urine. No.
we think to ourselves, and some people, we know a lot of people, you see, into this lifestyle over here, they wash their hair with their urine. We're not into that.
No.
Oh.
No. Yeah, I don't drink or.
No.
Jokes for folks, if that's what they want to do, but I'm not going to come and kiss you or hug you. But apart from
like you said, to each his own, right?
Yeah, look, some people say there's minerals in you. I think urine comes out the body for a reason. It's not meant to be drunk again, but that's only. Well, I believe that. I've never done that in my life. I'm not interested. But yeah, and we don't have any set time for meals. It just depends how busy we are and what we're doing. We normally only sit down together once a day for a meal, and when we have our salad or cooked veggies with it or whatever. Usually anytime between 4 and 6 o'clock, that can be in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I don't like to eat too late, and then sometimes I'll go back in the evening and I'll have some fruit before. I like to. My wife doesn't, but I like to go and eat fruit before I go to bed. I might have some pawpaw. Like yesterday, I had a pear. Sometimes. Oh, another thing that we've discovered that it changes. Like we get diced apple, dip it in peanut paste, and put a sultana on top of it. It's quite nice.
That sounds wow.
Wow, I love what you guys are doing. I'm kind of like you. I like to start my day with fruit, and I like to end my day with fruit.
Absolutely.
I do. I just think fruit.
We eat a ton of fruit too. Absolutely.
Fruit makes you feel so good.
Yeah.
So I do start and end.
No, are you in Florida?
We're in Pennsylvania.
We're close to Philadelphia.
So that's not real tropical, though, is it?
No.
Is it?
No.
No.
You're in the middle part. Middle. You're in middle.
We're in the Northeast.
Northeast. We're close to New York.
New York State.
We're close to New York. So, about what, an hour and 40 minutes?
Tomorrow it's only going to be like 60 degrees here.
That's all right. So Pennsylvania is the next state down from New York State, is it? Pennsylvania? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. That's where we're at. So we are not in a tropical area, but that is sounding wonderful to me.
We want to be where you are.
Yes.
So that's our goal. Our goal is to move somewhere tropical.
A lot of people in the USA who are into this lifestyle, fruitarian and vegetarian and vegan, they go to either Mexico or they go down south, deep south, don't they? They go to Florida, don't they? They're tropical down to Florida, isn't it?
Very tropical.
Very tropical, yeah.
Yeah, like Miami and the Keys. It's all very tropical. It's beautiful.
Yeah, USA is a bit like Australia. You've got the southern areas very tropical. You've got the temperate zone, and then you've got the cold zone.
Yes. The further north you go, the colder it is because you're closer to the North Pole, but you're closer to the large bodies of water like the Great Lakes and stuff like that. So I'm closer to Canada.
I've got relatives in New York at Fairport, Rochester, up that way. Rochester.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Well, come visit us.
Snow out every winter, shut out their driveway to get this to work and that. But in Australia, we are not quite as cold. We don't go as far down into the Antarctic or Arctic as you do. North America goes quite close to the Arctic.
Yeah.
Australia, we've got the Antarctic, but we're not as close, so we don't really get a lot of big snows like you. We do down south. It can snow, especially on the highlands, but it doesn't really snow a lot.
Okay.
It's cool, but we've got a place right up the northern part of Australia, which I don't think you have in Australia. We go right through the equatorial climate. It's very close to it. It's very close. So monsoon, we get a lot of monsoon. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, Jean, we have kept you for so long, but I don't want to let you go without you saying, what would you like to share with the viewers? What would you tell them, or what would you say to encourage them or inspire them? And I know you feel, everybody should live their own lifestyle, but what would you say to people?
Main thing I always say in life before anything else, you have to be happy and contented with what you do. That's the first thing. If you're changing your lifestyle because of health reasons, and a lot of people do that, don't be too impatient. Be kind on yourself. Change slowly. Change. Did you hear that? My computer. Change slowly, gradual, because sometimes it's taken people years and decades for the health to go down. Don't expect overnight. I saw a Facebook post on a lady the other day. She's only just changed over to being a vegan in the last few weeks, literally. And she said, I've been a vegan now for 28 days and nothing's changing. I've still got my health problems. Be harsh. People want instant. You know how I say, how long you've been abusing your health for years, don't be. So I'd say with people, if you're thinking to change it, it's great. Like I've changed and I love it. And, I'll never go back any other way. I'm too far gone that way now. But everybody just realize that we are different. We've got different genetics, different constitution, different environments, whatever. Just I think the most important takeaway is to be kind to yourself. Be kind. We're brought up to be, in our Western world, it's very hard. It's a very hard world. People are hard. It's almost like it's not kind of trendy to be kind to people. But it is nice to be kind. And without being self-centered, it's important to love yourself, feel good about yourself, and know the reason why you're doing something. Don't do it just because someone else is doing it. You've got to have a reason. You've got to find your reason, Sure. And if it is health, take your time, because it will happen. If you're kind to your body, the body's first instinct is to repair, rejuvenate. That's the first instinct of a human body. That's the first instinct. If it can, unless you've gone beyond the point of no return, there become a time when the body becomes so sick, so toxic, so degenerated that you can't heal. My mother got cancer my mother's been passed away 30 years ago, but when she did have the cancer, lungs, she stayed with me for the last 3 or 4 years of 3-4 months of her life, and we detoxed her and cleansed her out. But she was too far gone. Her energy was too low. Her levels of energy was too low, so she couldn't come back. You've got to realize we're not miraculous. There will become a point of so someone, if their health is that far gone, there's a time when the body will not heal itself. You can't do miracles. They just got and some people are so far gone they can turn it around, but they're never going to get to the levels that I'm at, because they've just destroyed too many vital organs.
Sure.
But they can still.
Sure. That's a beautiful message.
Yeah. But kindness.
I think what you said is key, though, and I've said I was going to let you go, but you hear people that spend 30, 40, 50 years destroying their bodies and unknowingly, but that's what they're doing. And then they go on a plant-based diet for, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months, a year. And well, I thought this was supposed to work. It's like, it took you 50 years to get that way. Give it a chance,
Chance. And also people might make an improvement, but not going to make a significant, someone's abused themselves for 50 years and they start a plant-based or vegetarian diet or whatever. They're not going to look like, if they started at 65 and they've been drinking and smoking and eating processed food for the last, 65 years, and then they change, they're not going to look like me at 68.
No.
But it will be, they're not going to look like that, because I've had a head start on everybody. I've had a head start.
Sure did.
Like, if you look at a race, 100-meter race, I started my race on the 50-meter line. Of course, I'm going to win the race. You can't catch me. You know what I mean?
Right.
We've got to understand also our own limitations. But another thing about getting older, which is quite nice, I think, you do get to know yourself more about your strengths and weaknesses. As I get older, I realize, and that's why I think I'm more contented now than I've ever been in my life, because you stop chasing the things that you don't like. And we all do that. We chase things that are not good for us. We chase things that we don't like. We do it because of society pressures or expectations. Now we just focus, as myself and my wife, we focus on what turns us on. And we know our limitations. I'm not going to go into the gym and work out 2 hours, heavy weights, squats, bench press, deadlifts, and go again tomorrow. It's going to take me 3 days to recover now. I just haven't got it in me.
Wait, look, at 68, at 68, you look beautiful. You look great. And, you deserve a few days to recover and come back. So
you realize this, if you really want to get down, if you want to get down and dirty, sex, I don't perform like a 20-year-old anymore. My wife, we're not like it at rabbits every day, every second day, we're good. And my wife expects that, I don't know she's going to kill me. My wife still got quite a good sex drive. But whether it's because of my more spirituality, I said to my wife, I haven't got that sex drive. I'm happy once a fortnight. That's just me. Yeah, I'm just being.
But I love
You know,
that you're so you feel so open and free with yourself that you're like, this is how it is, you know?
I can't go there and do it every day or twice a day. You know what I mean? I just can't do that anymore, and I don't
Game
even want
over.
to. I mean, I don't want to either. You know what I mean? I'm at a different stage of my life, and we talk about it openly. I say, you got to realize this. I'm just a different person.
Yeah.
I'm not 20 anymore. I'm not 18. I'm 50, I'm 68.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. But you
And
don't look 68. That's the whole problem.
I don't feel it, but you got to realize you as you get older, you do change. My mindset, my high mind, my body, my soul, my spirit, my emotions, everything is changing late in my life, and I love it. I love myself now. I'm a much better person now than ever. I can't do the 100 meters in 10 seconds anymore. No, it's going to take me 20 seconds now. I can still do it, but you know what I mean?
But you're
You can
still
still do it.
doing
You
it.
can
But
still
you're
do
still
it.
doing it.
just have
Your
to do it.
vibration is so high. Your vibration is so
Got
high.
to take it. You got to understand your limitations. So I'm not hard on myself. I don't come and say, "Oh shit, I can't lift that weight anymore." I used to be able to lift, big weights, and I can't do it anymore. I just can't do it. It's
That's
simple.
okay.
Okay, but I'm good at other things. You know what I mean? I'm good at other things,
Right.
and that's the way.
love it.
That's what I'm saying, to be kind to yourself. Love yourself and know your limitations, and then
Yes.
you can share it to other people and give them experiences.
Mhm.
And that's why, and I know that especially with us being males, we're always told we have to do this or we have to be this King Kong this, King Kong that, but it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? Whether we like it, you know what I mean? So
You are so cool. Jean, you're so cool. I just love you. I mean, this has been so great.
It's been
hasn't
amazing.
it?
It's been amazing.
Now
Beautiful.
it's late here and I'm all full of energy from you. You have just pumped me full of energy.
What time is it now? 10:15 at night. Is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay then. Lots of love. Mwah.
Oh,
Thank you so
Jean,
much. Thank you so much.
yes. You have been a complete inspiration, an angel, and I appreciate you letting me reach out to you and you coming here and talking. It's just been incredible.
Just let me know and we talk. Or if you've got Messenger, if you want to ring me anytime to say hello, no problem, or text me. Or if you want to say, look, are you free for a chat in 15 minutes time?
Yeah.
If I'm free, I'll give my time. I'm not a problem like that. But I'm not a sort of person who lives by the clock, though. I do things. I'm quite impulsive.
You should be. That's
Absolutely.
what makes life interesting and fun.
Well, we thank you. Your story, your message was amazing. I think it's gonna resonate with a lot of people and help a lot of people. So we really appreciate it. So much love. Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you. Thank you to everybody for watching.
Bon nuit.
Absolutely.
Thank you to everybody for watching.
Take care. Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.